Palace! Gascoigne going to have a crack. He is, you know. Oh, I say!
Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Yes, good evening, Savva here, Football Heritage TV. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't handball. Tottenham are 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. 2 goals, one made all by James Maddison and an own goal from, apparently I look like him, Joel Ward. And the second goal scored by Sonny, who I didn't think did anything throughout 90 minutes. But it doesn't matter. If you're a goal scorer and you score goals, that's all that counts. So Tottenham Hotspur managed to hold on in the end. A spirited fight back in the last 7 or 8 minutes from Palace. A good goal by AU. We can argue whether it should have been a handball or not. But 2-1, and then they had a chance right at the end. What I will say, there were some positives tonight. There were some negatives. Wasn't the prettiest. But hey, for the time being, we are 5 points clear. Now, some will say, well, it doesn't really matter because by tomorrow it could be back to 2 points. But all that matters is that Spurs are racking up the league points. That's what you've got to do, because by the time Spurs play next, by the time we play next, we are going to have played a game less than everyone else. And it swings and roundabouts. This week, we're a game in front. By the time we play Chelsea in 10 days' time, everyone else will have played 2 games, so we could be second, third, fourth. But that doesn't matter because right now we are 5 points clear at the top. And I suppose it doesn't matter how you play. The link is going into the chat now. This is a chance for you to call in. This is a chance for you to call in. And just to prove it, here it is. Look. There we go. That's the sign that says you can phone in, have your say. I'm sure there'll be a lot of happy people, maybe some people that aren't quite as happy with the performance. First half, let's be brutally honest, it was difficult. It was a difficult first half. Second half, I thought we had 2 good moments. Other than that, I did think it was very hard to watch. But does anyone care? So there's the link going into the chat. Call in if you would like. You know the rules. Must have your camera on. Must have your name as well. So I've just picked up the dog. You can see got hairs there. You must have your name on and you must have your camera on. If you don't, I will not let you on the show. Please, please, please remember that. So the link is here. The link is here. We'll go to a few people in a minute. We'll let it build up for a few seconds. Equally, smash the like buttons. Come on, there's 265 of you in here and 46 likes. Smash that like button. And whilst we're at it, do you think a few people should subscribe? Let's get a few subscribers, hey? Let's get some subscribers. Yeah, we'll let that build up just for a couple of seconds. Look, I mean, it wasn't vintage Spurs. I'll be honest, I didn't think vintage Spurs, if we can call it that. I didn't think we had it at Luton. I didn't think we had it at Fulham. I'm going to ask a question. Is handball a thing? Or are we just a very hard-working team that have got moments of quality? I'm just putting it out there, just for debate. Don't all shoot. Don't shout at me. Just creating some debate, all right? By the way, smash the like button before we go and get people in. Smash the like button. We've got 64 likes. I'm not going to get anybody onto the show until we get to 100 likes. Let's get 35 more likes. Somebody's just joined with their camera on that's pointing at their ceiling. That's not going to work. Unless I see your face, I'm not going to let your ceiling join in and talk. But please feel free to join the panel, everybody. Keep smashing that button. Big up. Let's go to Yuvraj first. Let's see what Yuvraj has got to say Yuvraj, welcome back. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. It's strange seeing Tottenham top of the league after 5 points ahead. Listen, I'm not going to be one of those Liverpool fans that's salty at Tottenham. Relax. I'm not going to be like one of those. I mean, I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans salty about Tottenham. Which, look, we got robbed, but it's not Tottenham's sort of VAR in charge. I just want to get that cleared first because I don't have a problem with Tottenham. It's a VAR.
Yeah.
But look, let me on the game. Look, I mean, I'm not saying you're gonna become champions, but this is a champion type win where you're not at your best, but you got the win. I think 3 points is what matters. And look, do I think it wouldn't be in a title race? No, I don't think. I think it'll be Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City fanging out. But I think it's good to get these points early on the season. Then because there's gonna be a point where you drop off. I think there's gonna be that 1 point where you're gonna get injury. Because for me, look, I know you won tonight, and obviously a winning is massive for you guys. But look, one person injured Udiger, and you look less. You don't look like yourself. So one injury, I think you're one injury away from dropping off. But I think
who's that one injury? Is it one particular player in your mind, or
Maddison.
Just in general?
Madison. I think Madison's the guy. Yeah, because I think Madison was one, but I think it's more Madison because he's the one that's creating for you guys. And like, I know it was a weird fluky goal for you guys, but Madison still got the goal. He was the key for that goal as well. So I think you guys are one injury away. And look, but like I said, if you need these early points because when you get to January time, at least because I think your aim's top 4. I think that's the aim that should be the aim for Tottenham this year. And you want to be ahead of the teams like United, Chelsea, just ahead of that time because look, Tottenham, I can't lie, like it's a good start to the season, and I did not expect this from Tottenham. Like if I have to be honest, I think like you have played the big sides early on as well, like Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, and look, I did think we would beat you guys. I thought Arsenal would beat you guys. I thought you would beat United, but you proved me wrong. And look, I'm not going to get sorry about Tottenham because I think Tottenham deserve the credit. I think let Tottenham fans enjoy it. I think you guys deserved it because you've not been suffering for like 3 years now. I mean, many years without a trophy.
3 years?
More, yes. Let me
Look, these lines on my head, they weren't built in 3 years, mate. This is many years of supporting Tottenham. Listen, before I let you go, your Yuvraj, to get someone else on, give me, if you were going to put your money, all the money that you've got in the world right now, where are Tottenham Hotspur going to finish the season? After 10 games, we're top. Where are we going to finish the season?
Fourth? Yeah, fourth.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you finish above us. I don't think you finish above Arsenal, see, because I think the squad depth for them 3 teams are just elite. To like teams like United, Chelsea, and them lot. Like, I just think their squad depth is, because I think my top 3 I've always said at the start of the season: Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. That's no order, but that's pretty me a top 3. And then you got I think Tottenham, Chelsea, United. I think United will click soon, but I think they will click way too late for Tottenham just to be ahead. And I think you guys finish 4th, and that'll be a good season for you guys. And I don't think you should be aiming for any trophies this year. Next season, yes, but this season I don't think trophies are the aim. And look, that's the standards for Spurs right now, and I think anyone can accept that. Like that is the standards for Spurs. And look, I think 4th is a good season for you guys, no matter what. 4th is actually a good season.
Okay, well, listen, thanks for calling in, Yuvraj. Appreciate your honesty as a Liverpool fan, and I would say good luck for the rest of the season, but we all know how that goes down. So, listen, take care, bro, and I'm sure I'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
All right, take care, mate. Next up, we have got, I mean, listen, it's up to people in the chat. I can bring people on one by one. If everyone wants to come on and have a group discussion, let me know. Thumbs up in the back if you're happy with that, or if you want to come on by yourself. Everyone happy with that? Happy? Okay, cool. Let's bring some people on then. Big up. So we have got Mikhail, Ratish, and Ayal. Ayal. A with an A, yeah? Eyal.
That doesn't matter.
Okay, good. As long as you're not offended, as long as I get it wrong.
No,
Listen, I'll try and get everyone's name right. Listen, first of all, everyone's Spurs here, right? Just to check, everyone here is Spurs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just checking. Sometimes I say we, and then I realise, oh, hang on, you actually support Arsenal or something. Guys, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't, Spurs fans keep predicting these big 4-0s and 5-0s, and we're going to bat. It's not happening. Does it matter? Are we bothered, or just 3 points to move on to the next game? Anyone can start.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Savva, thanks for having us on. Happy Friday. So, in terms of the game itself, I mean, like you said, it depends on which angle you look at. So, with me, like, I normally take one game at a time. So, I think if you look at this game in isolation, it was nervy towards the end. I mean, but overall, one game at a time. I think it's good to see Bentancur back tonight. I think he will bring that extra dimension in midfield. I think in the future, like, it's interesting to see how he'll be integrated back into the team slowly. So, sometimes when you have a long layoff, it takes time. So, but once the ingredients are in place, then, he'll be in the right path. But big 3 points as far as Spurs are concerned.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely a massive 3 points. Just quickly smash the subscribe button. There's 358 of you in here. Smash the subscribe button. Be nice. Be kind. We're all here doing our thing, giving up our Friday nights. So it's free to do. Mikhail, let me come to you. How are you, my friend? You well?
Yeah. Recovering from the illness, but other than that, brilliant. Happy to watch Spurs. Although the first half, I'm not going to lie, was a bit of how do I call it? A butt clencher, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was a bit frustrated with us in the first half. I think credit to Palace first of all in the first half. I think they were organized really well, and they actually stopped our key players from getting involved into the game. I think Son had 8 touches of the ball or 6 or something like that. We just couldn't get the ball to him, right? But I think it's just one of those performances where I think I've heard it on one of the other shows. I think you are just going to accept the 3 points and never watch the highlights back, right? It's just the way.
Oh yeah, no one's watching that game back. I mean, any Spurs fan that says, you know what, I want to sit through that again, they're a better fan than I am. But look, Mikhail, before we move to AL, we ground it out in the end. It was, in the end, it was James Maddison again with a couple of bits of, the first one was an instinctive whip across the box. The second one was that lovely ball played in for Brennan Johnson. We do have a couple of game changers in Sonny and Maddison. So we can get away with games like that now, can't we? I'm not saying you're going to get away with it every time, but that is the beauty of having a playmaker.
Yeah, I think there will come a time when Maddison and Son can just, make something of nothing, right? And I think there will be a game where we probably draw 0-0 to some, lower half opposition away, for example, right? But I think it's just brilliant to have those two in the game because, as I said, Son wasn't really involved in the first half, but still he somehow managed to score a tap in pretty much, right? But he just has to be there. He was at the right place at the right time and he managed to score. Same thing with Maddison, right? I know it was a bit lucky, but you take those, right? I think even if you want to say that the first goal of ours was a bit lucky, then I think the Crystal Palace goal should not have stood. I don't know how that wasn't ruled out as a handball. For me, it's ridiculous. You can clearly see it going off his arm or under his foot, but I know it's just VAR. Even Palace fans were frustrated with it. You could clearly hear them chanting whatever they were chanting, and I want to say it because I will get you demonetized, right? But it's for me, even if this game ended 1-0, I think it would have been a fair result. Just one of those games, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, AL, look, at half-time, loads of us who were doing watch-alongs, every football fan at half-time for their own team starts talking about, we all think we're football managers, right, at half-time. We go, what I'd do is I'd move him there and him there. And it's often never what we think it's going to be. Royale on for Ben Davis. Was it the right substitution for you? Do you think that was what was the right move?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I think Davis came with a knock.
Okay.
He came in with an injury, so I think it was because of that. I didn't predict it anyway. So I didn't think we needed a game changer. I don't know if it was the right one.
Let me ask you then. A couple of players that are getting stick. One is very much Richarlison. it's another game where Richarlison doesn't score, doesn't look like scoring, doesn't look like he can control a ball. Is it time now for Richarlison to not play and for us to see Brennan Johnson start? We can talk about which wing they should play, but is it time?
Absolutely. He can play on the wing. He can't. He's a striker, but not really a striker because he can't shoot. He's just a footballer, but like he runs around like a headless chicken or headless penguin or pigeon.
Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't add anything to the game. He doesn't take his man on. He can't cross. He can't do anything. He doesn't add anything. And also, Kulusevski doesn't add anything. He doesn't do anything.
We're gonna move on to him in a minute. Let's stick with one problem at a time.
Okay.
I think you're right. And let me ask the other two here. So I think that's a good point. So Ayala said, he doesn't add anything. What I don't want to talk about work rate. Because as far as I'm concerned, anyone who's being paid thousands of pounds a week to put on football boots should work hard, right? I'm not paid thousands of pounds a week, and I still have to do my ironing, my hoovering, my washing. Right? Do you know what I mean? Right? We work hard. As a footballer, Ratish, I'll come to you. What is he doing? What's he there for? I can't wrap my head around what he brings to a football side.
Oh, you mean Richarlison in particular?
Yeah.
I mean, the way I see it with Richarlison is like when he first joined Spurs, as a new player joining, you want to give him a chance. But this is his second season now. He hasn't really done anything, apart from the assist for Kulu's goal, and I think he assisted another one against Liverpool. He hasn't really done enough to warrant being a place in the starting lineup. £60 million is a hell of a lot of money to pay for a player, who's scoring 10 plus goals for an Everton team that's struggling in the bottom half at the time. So, I mean, to be fair, last season he hasn't had a lot of game time because Harry Kane was playing in number 9, scoring goals for fun. But whenever he has an opportunity, he doesn't seem, he's not grabbing games by the scruff of the neck. Like, he's like playing with 10 men.
Yeah, I mean, the difficult thing with it as well. I mean, Macau, if we look, this was his 46th game for Tottenham, and he's not scored a goal with his feet. 46 games. That's mad, isn't it?
That's ridiculous, Savva, for me. I really don't like watching him play. It's just, I really like this team, but as soon as the ball ends up at Richarlison's feet, I know something will go wrong. And I'm not the type of a guy to give credit for simple layoffs or, just being involved in the passing game, right? For me, that's, especially at that level of the game, I think that's something that every player on the field should be able to do, right? And I also want to talk a bit about the Kulusevski in regards, in comparison to Richarlison. I will talk about Richie, right? But for me, they are both not contributing enough. But at least with Kulusevski, sometimes there is. It doesn't happen often, but at least sometimes you can see something there. Something at least he controls the ball well. I know the work rate is not something I'm giving credit for, but at least he shows something. For me, Richarlison, he isn't involved in the press. He isn't involved in the creating. He's woeful at shooting. He's not good at passing. He doesn't control the ball well. It's just ridiculous for me to watch a player like him playing there on the left wing, where I know that we have better players on the bench waiting for an opportunity. And I get that both Hill and Johnson are returning from the injury, right? So we have to bet them in slowly. But for me, his time is quickly running out, especially when you've put it into context where he's played 46 games for us and he just cannot seem to contribute always, right?
Do you know the thing for me? And by the way, keep smashing the like button, people. Come on, there's just under 400 of you in here at the moment. We should be on 200 likes. Smash the like button. It's free. It's like paying rent. Look, even Kuba's joined, who has vowed not to have a beard or a haircut until Tottenham lose a game. So he's going to get a haircut in May or maybe next August. Who knows?
5 years' time, mate.
Huh?
5 years' time, mate.
In 5 years' time, when we finally lose a game after winning
That's right.
in a row. Look, let me bring you in on this point, Kuva. Look, Brennan, I'll start with a positive. When Brennan Johnson came on, just that one thing he done, I passed it in, then ran beyond his man into the box and pulled it back, is what I don't see from Richie. I'm not going to talk about Kulu at the moment. That's what we don't see from Richie. Is it time, Kuva? Is it time for Brennan Johnson, whether it's right, left, centre? Is it time for Brennan Johnson to now start games?
Yeah, I think I've been trying to give Richie the benefit of the doubt and pointing out all his attributes, which is basically causing chaos because he's so unpredictable with what he does. Yeah. But I think you saw for every good thing he did tonight, he did something absolutely horrible as well. Whenever he good little layoff pass into somebody's path, next time the ball came to him, he'd miscontrol it and it would go 6 or 7 yards away from him. It was a microcosm of everything good and everything bad with him at the same time. Brennan Johnson came on immediately, had effect. We all saw that, but I just don't think it's going to work out, is it? Richarlison's not even looking like the player he was at Everton, and that player was pretty average.
Yeah, his low bar isn't even being met. It's like a high jumper whose personal best is like, I don't know, 1 meter. I don't know what they jump, 1 meter 50, and now he's jumping at 1 meter 30 every time. You know what I mean? Like there's just
it's sad because everything about him, I would love to be cheering. You know, the little pigeon dance, the rapport with the fans when something does happen well, and you know, he clearly
social media accounts.
Yeah, it's just not happening for him, and you know, it's like with Soldado. You knew he's a good player and a decent bloke and everything, but it just wasn't working. You've got to cut your losses at some point. He's just going to have to be there and be that backup when we are desperate for a player to come on. When we do get an injury to Sonny or to Brennan Johnson, we need somebody that's going to come off the bench. Then I think right now that's got to be his role. I think he's there literally to make up the numbers. He's lost it otherwise. I feel really sorry for him, but if we're trying to do something here, we can't rely on him doing this all season. We need better. And Brennan Johnson, I think, really pleasantly raised eyebrows for a lot of people tonight, I think, when he came on. He really looked the part. And that blistering pace is a hell of a weapon to have. Really is.
It's definitely something we've got to use. Look, I want to ask everyone a question before we talk about Kulu, because there's too many positives before we jump straight into bashing anybody. Like, because, we want to celebrate that we're 5 points top, albeit we'll talk about that as well, albeit we're 5 points clear for 24, 48 hours. We'll see. And then by the time we play next, guys, just for context, you know me, by the time we play next, we won't be top. Because, well, I'm assuming that 2 of those will win their games because a lot of them have got some nice fixtures. And that's the swings and roundabouts. Before we do, super chat here from 7_SC, who said, I just had a crispy roast duck and calamari. So good. Yes, I loved everything about your sentence until it said, and calamari. Yuck. But listen, thank you so much for the super chat anyway. And I'm sure that will trigger a debate about people that love calamari or not. Not for me. Definitely not for me. And big up Tony, who has said, Van der Ven, what a player. We'll come on to Van der Ven. Don't worry. Yeah. We'll get there with every player. We will get there. Before we do, I want to talk about the kind of the only thing in the game that was really controversial. If we're honest, I think everything in the game flowed. I think we kind of knew what was going on. Then the 92nd minute of the game, bad defending by Porro. And I have to say, I thought, I'm not going to talk about him. I thought he was quite poor tonight, but bad defending. Ayew brings the ball down on his chest. It rolls down a little bit and then cue a 3.5. I think the official time was 3 minutes and 47 seconds to make a decision on a goal. I'm going to go around the panel. Whoever can start. And please bear in mind, speak about this as a football fan, not because it was against Spurs. Was it a handball?
Go on, I can go easily on that. For me, it's not a handball. I'm old school. As far as I'm concerned, the rules are absolutely crap nowadays. As I said in your chat earlier, as far as I'm concerned, it should be hand to ball, and it's got to be deliberate. You can't just blow up for every time it hits an arm in some sort of position. Your players lunge in sometimes, or you could see how he was sticking out his chest. He was definitely trying to bring it down legitimately. At the end of the day, what a finish. I love seeing that sort of goal. I don't mind if we let in a goal like that. It's set up a grandstand finish. I'm a bit of a masochist, though, so I love these games when they're really close and you're biting your nails to the very end. I think it set us up lovely. And like I said, I think if there's no intention to get your hand to the ball, why should it be given as one? I think the rule absolutely. Well, I can't say what I think because you might get demonetized.
Would it be the first time today? I've said a lot of swear words. I'm already under review for my watch along.
Oh, really? Anyway, yeah, it spoils the game. A huge delay for something that should have just been looked at. You could see what he was trying to do. It's unfortunate it did clip his arm. Same with you could look back at Champions League final in Sissoko. I mean, is it you're going to say that's a deliberate handball? It's madness. It's sticking to the rules instead of just allowing officials to have a bit of common sense and realise that players are human. There is going to be little errors like that aren't intentional. And I think we've gone so much a stickler for the rules that we're messing up our interpretation of them the whole time, and it's just getting worse and worse. It should never even be a point of contention tonight.
I agree. I want to find out what everyone else thinks about this decision before we go too deep into it. I mean, Ayal, handball for you was it clear? Was it a clear handball?
It wasn't clear. I'm not really tribalistic with all stuff. It's actually thanks to you and watching you like 2 years, and like you're not tribalistic, and I became not one either. But I don't think it was a handball. I don't think football should be like that. So no, I don't think that's the bad part of his display. I think it was more Pedro Porro's fault.
It wasn't. Oh, sorry, it froze there. Yeah, listen, I mean, it was. I mean, Mikhail, it was poor defending. I saw a lot of poor defending from Porro tonight. The ball comes across as a forward there, Mikhail. Those are the like Kuba was saying, and it all depends, I suppose, on age. But I remember centre forwards like Mark Hughes, Brian McClare, Les Ferdinand. This was their bread and butter. Ball comes across, chest it down. All right, it might take a little ricochet, but it wasn't like it hit his chest and he went. Sorry, you can't see my hand. It wasn't like it hit his chest and he went, oh,
yeah. Sorry, I've got to pull you up there, Savva. That's not Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes would have been up in the air and spectacular volley in the top corner.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean,
right?
Sure. But nowadays we're getting to the stage, Mikhail, when that's looked at. There was one down the other end where the ball was headed back, I think, by Son or someone at the back post.
Johnson towards Son.
Past his arm. Yeah. It didn't even hit the guy's arm, and they looked at it, and you're like, what is going on now? It's like there's a motion in the ball, and if it goes within a...
So if I can answer, right? Because when I came on, I said that for me it was ridiculous that it wasn't ruled out, right? I completely agree with everything that you boys said, right? That it's in the spirit of a game, it never should have been a handball, right? But the thing for me is, if you have a set of rules, right? Like, however ridiculous those rules are, and everyone is judged by those rules, for me, by the book of the rules, it was a handball. Right. That's the thing for me. I completely agree. There was nothing he could have done about it. Right. It bumped off his chest, like his arm was close to his body. Right. But the issue is it was sticking out. The ball clearly hit it. It redirected, the ball. So by the rule of the book, for me, it was an offense, right? But I agree with everything that Kuba said, right? But the issue for me is, if, however ridiculous those rules are, if you set those rules, then like apply those rules, right? That's the only reason why I said what I said, right? And that's basically my point, right?
I get it. I think what, you know, and I'll come to you in 1 second, Ratish. I think it all depends, doesn't it? By the letter of the law, if we want to apply everything without any human, as Kuba was saying, if we want to apply all these things without any human common sense, like common sense tells you that's not handball because he doesn't mean to do it. And back in the day, it used to be, did I move my hand to the ball? Did I intentionally handball? Now they want to give everything. Ratish, I'll ask you in a different way. Sorry, go on, Mikhail.
I just have to say, because I'm doing the show with Irish Hotspur, so I have to jump off. But real pleasure with speaking with you, boys, and good luck with the show. And see you around. Bye bye.
Yeah, listen, thanks, Mikhail. Thanks for jumping in. And if anyone else would like to jump in, the link is in the chat. You've just got to put your camera on, put your makeup on, do your hair, whatever you feel like you need to do. Ratish, I'm going to ask you from a different way.
Sure.
The ball comes across from a James Maddison whipped-in corner. Stunny brings it down. It kind of ricochets off his arm and he volleys it in. And it's the last minute to win a game 1-0. Are we saying that's a clear handball and we want it disallowed?
Oh, that's a $64 question. I think with the example you just said, so if it's an accidental handball and then Son puts it in the back of the net, then from a Spurs angle, we would be celebrating if it's a goal, you know? Right. So, I mean, in all seriousness, I think that the goal that Jordan Ayew scored, I think, in my opinion, it should have been disallowed. I think, you know, it clearly struck the hand. Big up to Kuva, by the way. I hope you're well.
Big on, mate.
Yeah. Other than his hair, he's doing just fine.
Yeah. But staying with the subject, I think, I mean, great finish by Jordan Ayew, because in normal circumstances, you want it to be a grandstand finish. But at the same time, it clearly struck the hand/arm area. I mean, what's been lacking when it comes to decisions with VAR is some form of transparency. Like, you're just making it up as you go along. Like, it can happen in any sport. Like, best example, look at rugby. Look at the way they use technology. You have the referee who talks, or he wears a mic, you talk whilst the action's happening, and then you have the television match official that supports the ref in terms of decisions. You know, that is the best example of how to use it. Cricket as well. You have the DRS system, you know, if you're appealing for an LBW, and so on and so on and so forth. With football, like, you have to come up with one specific rules rather than just chopping and change it every time. And that creates a lot of confusion. That is for certain.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, guys, I want to move on to some really positive stuff. Again, Van der Ven.
Wow.
Mickey Van der Ven. We saw in the first half, we saw a couple of instances where his pace was invaluable. And in the second half, a couple of times where it was a mixture of his pace and his strength to shrug off. It was either Mateta or Edouard. I'm not sure who was on the pitch at that time.
I think it was Edouard.
Edouard.
Yeah. I mean, Kuva, I'll start with you. I mean, he looks like he's been playing at the back there for years, doesn't he? Just looks so composed.
Yeah, I mean, if you take away the aerial dominance that a Van Dijk had in his prime, you're looking at similar sort of effect on the team. Not quite the same style. Van Dijk's obviously got that extra power to him, to his physique, but Van der Ven, that kind of pace, that's an unbelievable asset for us at the back. It means the whole team can push forward without leaving those huge open gaps. His recovery has been, it's what we've been missing since Kyle Walker left. We've always wanted that in the back line. Now we've got it. And boy, does it make the difference. I'd argue that this win tonight was based on the defence and the goalkeeper, because we were not at the races in that first half. Jordan Ayew was ripping Ben Davies to shreds. He was just way too powerful for him. It was the right move to bring Emerson Royale on at that point. I remember having the comment in at the time, but not everybody was agreeing with it. He was getting dominated basically. So Emerson Royal had to come on. Jordan Ayew switched across to the other flank and then gave Porro a really hard time after that as well. He's a lump. He's a unit, is Ayew. But apart from that fantastic finish, he usually doesn't offer enough, does he? So it was only a goal at the end there. But back to Van der Ven, he is the one that's holding this defence when we are put under times of pressure or there is the potential for a breakaway. He is there. He's not only the recovery pace, but usually is reading the games really good as well. He doesn't need to do a lot of the recovery runs because he's getting in the right place. And playing out from the back, we're getting better and better at it. He's certainly thriving on it. He looks like a quality footballer, doesn't he? We're looking at the new Jan and Toby setup when it comes to centre backs at the moment. Comfortable on the ball, happy to have it between them. They don't even need that third player to come slip in between them like Dembele used to for Pochettino. It's just the two of them there because they know they've got everything between them to cover it if there is a slip up. Well, when I say everything, we've got Van der Ven. He is a massive asset to this club right now. I think the only thing that really concerned me tonight is we clearly do struggle without a doggy. His power and his ability to just brush people off the ball. Jordan Ayew would not have got that sort of kind of a service and that time on the ball if a doggy was playing tonight. They were getting all their joy going down the right flank in the first half. When you've got a doggy there and you've got a Basuma and you've got Van der Ven backing up there as well, that's an entirely different scenario for him to get past. And it just wouldn't have happened. So all the good stuff that's happened, there are some little signs there that we've got frailty still. We knew this.
Yeah, of course.
I'm still sticking with we're going to win the league. But like I said at the time, it needs some big caveats. Stay injury free and ride our luck when we do need to ride our luck. But I would argue the times when we're put under pressure now and we come through it, it's not luck. It's players stepping up when they need to, whether it's Vicario, whether it's Van der Ven, whether it's Romero, they are coming forward. Maddison had a poor game, I thought, until the last half hour. Then up he pops, springs to life, and the goals come. That's why you get it. Sonny as well. Nothing else in the game. Quality goal though. That was a lovely little build up for his goal. We're just finding ways all the time. This is why I've got this mad belief on us doing something this season. I look at the other teams around us. City, what they were a few years back, they might have won the treble last season, but it's not. There's no David Silva, is there? There's no Aguero. There's no Mahrez has gone as well. So I mean,
I hate to break it to you, Kuva. They just want a treble without the players you just mentioned. Like,
isn't that a sign of the times, though, mate? It's one of those conversations you've had this season. The players are not there nowadays. I was having the same conversation with Alex Davis earlier. We're talking about teams that have got a good system in place with a good manager are capable of doing some things at the moment. That the individual brilliance is not the defining factor anymore, which makes me think we have got a chance. We're underdogs, but I think we're in with a chance.
It's where you and I will disagree, but look, let me bring in AL. Go on, mate.
I think City, like, they turn up late in the year. Where, like, in February, until February, they were like not that much, but then after we played them, they were like 50 games on the bounce, like undefeated. Like, they were monsters in the late half. So now they can, like, do anything they want. They can do anything they want. Go with the B team, C team, academy team. In February, March, it's a whole new ball game.
Yeah. No, listen, I completely agree with you. I mean, Ratish, this is an interesting direction that Kuva's taken it in here. Look, I mean, City are obviously the benchmark. City won the treble. They've won 3 years in a row. For me, I still have Man City as overwhelming favourites to win the league because of their know-how past Christmas. This is a team that every year about this stage of the year, you get some bearded people like Kuva that come onto shows and say, oh, City aren't as good as they were, or City what they were a few years back, and then they just go into overdrive at some point. How do you see it, Ratish? Do you think this is City doing what City do? They're right there, by the way. It's not like we're talking like they're 10th. They're right there in behind us. And we know once it turns the year, we know they can turn the screw. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the way I think with Man City, Savva, I think write them off at your peril, because they have a tendency to start slow around the beginning of each season. I remember last year, they lost at Anfield earlier on to Liverpool, but then towards the second half of the season, they got their team fully fit and they went on that amazing winning run. That's what Man City could do. And to your point, they have experience. They know what it takes to get over the line. And they've so far this season, they may have not hit the heights as opposed to last year, like circumstances. I already mentioned just a few seconds ago with Gundogan going, and they've had some dodgy results along the way, but it's Pep Guardiola. He has that know-how. I mean, the competition's going to be a lot stiffer this year. So, for when it comes to Spurs, we just focus on what we're doing, just keep taking each game as it goes. And, if we make some smart purchases in January, if we recruit well, add some squad depth, who knows? But like I said, don't want to look too far ahead. So in terms of Man City, just don't write them off for sure. I think Liverpool will be up there challenging too, and others.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I've said this. I haven't changed my mind on this. For anyone who thinks I'm flip-flopping, I think it will be Man City from Liverpool, from Arsenal, and then that's where I think Tottenham will finish. However, what I have said is, talk to me after 20 games. Let's see at the 20 game mark. Let's see where we are, and then I think it's going to be very much handing over to Daniel Levy, right? If at the 20 game mark we're going to, if I'm not wrong, the 20 game mark is bang on the turn of the year. If I'm not
very
wrong,
much so. New Year's Eve time, beginning of January,
We've got 7 games in December, so we've played 10. We've got 7 in December. Then I think between them we've got another 3. So I think it's 21 games. Look, Mark, let me bring you in here. Look. All you can do is beat the teams that you got in front of you. And I think it was really important that Tottenham we beat Luton, we beat Fulham, and you beat Palace. 3 teams that you say, we should be winning. Not saying we always do, but you should be winning. Really important that we got those points, Mark, because the next 4 games coming up are Chelsea, Wolves away that won't be easy. Wolves are a really awkward team, really. Sometimes they're really, really good. Other times they're not. Followed by Aston Villa, followed by Man City. So that's 4 awkward games coming up. So it was really important that we got these 9 points from the last 3, right?
Definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't worried going into the Palace game, but Palace it's just one of those teams, isn't it? As like Fulham was last week, it could be with the old Spurs a potential banana skin. But I have to say, my God, the way we've got through these games, I don't know what anyone thinks, but I'm not. But I personally, I think it's absolutely impressive. I mean, I was just watching the end of the Sky Sports thing, and you've got the usual pundits, and they just say every reason why we aren't a good team, rather than why we are a good team. We're a good team, and we're bringing in little bit part players. I mean, the thing I like about Ange is that in that game, you have to say Ben Davies weren't good enough. Off. End of story.
But
and then he does with what he's got. This is what I was saying when I was on before, from the last Fulham game. I'm not saying that he hasn't got quality to bring on, but the way he does it is absolutely profound. It's just clever thinking.
Pick and choose here with that. Like, we can pick and choose and say he does that, but then when it's Richarlison and Kulusevski, it never seems to happen. Like, you know, we can pick and choose, right? And I don't want to go negative with it, but look, we talked the defense, like Van der Ven and Romero have been brilliant. I think Vicario kept us in it in the first 10 minutes. I thought he made some fantastic saves. Sonny switches it on when he needs to for a goal. Maddison switches it on when he needs to. But Kulu and Richie, Mark, these two are becoming a real, for me.
Oh yeah, I have to say, but this is what I'm saying, sir, there, Savva, that he hooked off Richie, and then when he hooked off Richie, look what Brennan Johnson did. Came on, straight down the wing, what you like, outside, cut it back, bang, goal. And I think he kind of knows. I think we know as fans. I think we know that Brennan Johnson is going to start all day long. We know that.
I hope so.
Because when you think Richie wasn't starting games really at first. When Brennan, I mean, looking back to the Arsenal game, he didn't start the Arsenal game. That's one, you know, in a calendar. That's one of our biggest games, etc. He didn't start that game. Brennan Johnson only just came and he started that game. So we know which way and he's going to go. But the way he's just working with what he's got to hype up certain players to come on and do a job, because he never when he's on the touchline, he actually doesn't actually look happy with what we're doing, and that's a good thing.
But yeah, of course, it's a good thing because we weren't good tonight. Like I think that's the key thing, right? Is that we weren't at our best. I'm not sure what that is. We keep saying that every game. We weren't at our best, but we're winning. But look, I want to look at positives. I don't want to go for too long tonight, but I want to look at another positive. And I'll start with Kuva. I know you need to jump. So much love, mate. Enjoy your food and enjoy your haircut in a few months, whenever it comes.
Cuba, we love it. We're going to win the league, aren't we, Cuba? Come on.
Damn right we are. Damn right we are.
Come on.
Come
Take
on, you
chest, man.
Well, cheers, I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
Take care, Cuba. Take care.
Guys, look, another positive tonight. Look, first of all, Vicario didn't have a lot to do after the first 10 minutes, but in that first 10 minutes, Palace could have raced into a lead. He made a couple of big saves, and then obviously Bentancur coming on for the last, well, it was technically the last 2 minutes, but it ended up being the last 10 because of injury time. Great to see him getting back out on the grass. So some positives to take from tonight.
Yeah, I thought he even looked better than Basuma did most of the game when he came on for that little cameo. To be honest, Bentancur is a quality player, a real asset. And I mean, but to be fair, I have to say that I thought Pap Sarr was brilliant tonight. I thought it was brilliant.
I disagree. I thought it was very clumsy on the ball.
I agree with one of you. Who do you think I agree with?
I don't know.
Not me.
I thought he was poor. I thought he was poor against Fulham. And no, do you know what? I don't think poor is the word. Do you know what I think? When I watch Papa Sarr, I think you can see there's a footballer there, right?
Yeah.
I feel like he's been fast-tracked. This is a player for me that shouldn't be playing week in, week out. But I think
was he good? Was he good tonight or not?
I don't think tonight he was good. No. I think he gives the ball away a lot. Like, he gives it away a lot. He's got some wonderful.
But our best player, our best player in the whole team, Maddison, gave the ball away a lot.
I disagree with you too.
But
Maddison gave the ball away a lot.
Okay, but the difference is, Mark, why does James Maddison, players like James Maddison, players like Odegaard, players of that ilk will always end up giving the ball away a lot because they're trying to link up play. Papa Sarr, for me, I find that he gives it away clumsily. Like he drives forward. In that second half, I thought he drove forward from that right channel quite a lot. And then it was just clumsy passing. Listen, he's got a great engine. For me, I think he'll be a really good player. I just think at the moment he's been overplayed.
I'm not talking about what he was doing going forward. I'm talking about when you look at it, when you watched him tonight. I thought, I mean, he's tracking back, he's tackling, his tackling was good.
Sorry, just quickly. For Krusty Crumpets, hang on. I'm just talking about a player. Can we not do this, please? I've not said Sar's the problem. Please, can we not do this?
Oh, no.
Sar is the problem. For me, I think Sar is a good player. For me, I don't think he's anywhere near the levels of Bentancur, and you wouldn't expect that. And I think that when Bentancur's fully fit, I expect to see Sar making cameos. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, probably.
He's a good player that's not been played for 2. You've got to remember, Conte didn't play this guy for 2 years.
Yeah.
He didn't play this guy for 2 years. Then all of a sudden he's thrust into the team and he's playing 90 minutes every week. And he's young. I expect these performances. I'm not expecting 20-year-olds to be brilliant. I expect a doggy to make mistakes. I expect Sar to make mistakes. I expect any young player to make mistakes. It's not a knock on him. I just think that everyone's blown a little bit too much smoke up his backside a little bit too quickly.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but I was just talking about this game. I thought that this was actually his best game because for them, that's just my opinion.
No, listen, absolutely. Listen, I think the key thing is, I think what we've got to be able to do is we've got to get to a point where if, not me and you, but if anyone is ever discussing a player, it doesn't mean that you hate that player. Like I see it a lot when I go, I was disappointed in him tonight. Oh my God, you hate him. Let's sell him. It's like, whoa.
Oh no, whoa. I know you don't hate him whatsoever. I mean, he's a good player. So
he's a good player. He is. He's young. I think people forget how young he is. He's still a young man. He's still a young man. But look, Bentancur for me, it was positive, Ratish, right? To see him getting back, get even just a few minutes. Great to see. 10 months out, and we're just all hoping that he can regain and have that fitness level and that ability that he had before the injury. Because it's make and break when players have this type of injury, right? You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? And also another example with a similar type of injury is Kula. I think we'll touch on in a bit. When players return from long layoffs, you need time to get to full fitness as well as getting your confidence back. I think with Bentancur making an appearance off the bench, what he brings is dynamism in the middle of the park. I mean, in the long term, this season, like Benny and Basuma in the midfield duo would be very competitive. I think, again, depending on who the opposition is against, you'll be in for rigorous challenges that lie ahead. So it's exciting. And I think on the flanks where Spurs will be found out, I think on the flanks, like Kula and Richie need to step up big time. I think their confidence has been shot to pieces. Like whenever they have the ball, they treat it like hot potatoes. Like they're not taking enough risks. Like, they don't deliver. They don't do certain things, like whether it's delivering first-time crosses or, take a man on. Like I feel maybe in the short term, them to have to be on the bench. So I think Brennan Johnson has to start, in my opinion. I think he had a good game tonight. I mean, he played a part in Son's goal. So I think him starting next Monday against Chelsea should be the thinking process as far as Ange is concerned. And I think give Brian Hill an opportunity within the next few weeks or so. Good to see an extra player with fresh legs in the wing positions. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, really, really, really positive. First of all, again, sorry, you know what I'm like, guys. I'm sorry. I've not once said that Sar needed another year loan spell. I don't know if anyone heard me say that. I didn't say that in any way, shape or form. What I actually said was I feel that it's a lot of games in one go. And what I did when Bentancur's back, I think you'll start seeing more cameos from him, and it will allow us to rotate the midfielders a bit
definitely.
more.
I think Sar's a squad player.
Yes,
player,
I didn't say that he should go out on loan. That's not what I said. Stop saying these things that I didn't say. Listen, I think Papa Sarr's got so much about him. I really, really do. Problem is, we're going to get to a stage as football fans where you're not allowed to say anything about anyone. I mean, I love him. I love his engine. I love his passion. I love his drive. Tonight, I would probably say he was I thought Basuma was poor tonight. I thought Basuma was really...
That's exactly what I was going to say, Sam. I thought Basuma was poor tonight.
He was very poor tonight. Just because I think Sarr wasn't great doesn't mean I think everyone else was brilliant. I'm just talking about individuals. Look, let's talk about Kulu. We talked about Richarlison at the beginning of the show.
I thought Kulu was poor tonight.
I feel like this is what I watch
every game.
Yeah, well, let me start with you. Lots of people, every time Kulu plays, I say things and people get really upset. Oh my God, you don't see what he does, and he holds it up. And this was another game. I feel like every single game I watch him, this is what I get. Not me, you know what I mean? I feel like this is what we get. We get a couple of bursts into the other team's half, and you think, oh, you go on, beat your man, and then nothing comes of it. Isn't it getting a bit tedious, out? Every game now, it's the same.
I don't think he should be anywhere. Like, he shouldn't be a winger. I think he should be a midfielder. He can beat his man. He just cuts it in the left. So he can hold it. He can hold it up very well. He's a good player. I don't think he should be a winger at all. That's my opinion. He's not electric. You have Saka, Martinelli in Arsenal team. That's why you're scared to death when they get the ball.
Yeah, listen, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. I mean, Mark, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you're top of the league, right, there's this notion that no one can be talked about. It's what do you mean we're top? Of course, everyone's brilliant. For me, I look at this Tottenham team, and what I said a couple of weeks ago was, I know this isn't that simple, but I look at Liverpool's wingers.
Yeah.
And I truly believe if this Tottenham squad had two wingers like either City or Liverpool, i.e. Diaz and Salah, or Foden and Grealish or Doku.
Mitoma, put a Mitoma in this team.
Yeah.
A different team.
Yeah. Mitoma, Diaby. I truly believe if we had two wingers like that, you'll hear me right now saying title challenge. Yeah. I think that is what's going to be our downfall. I think again tonight, Madison Son. Everything is those two.
And also, I'm sorry, but Son was dreadful. Apart from the goal, he was dreadful. We just doing nothing. We have to talk about Son. Right?
I was saying the exact same because I was talking to a friend straight after the game. I know a Spurs fan, and from the beginning of the season, we've been saying, we're all comparing ourselves. To be honest, I don't know why we're like comparing ourselves in a way to Arsenal, because I think we've all just forgotten that Arsenal haven't finished above us for 6 years. This is the 7th year, and they've just finished above. Arsenal not been in the Champions League for 6-7 years, but then we say, so what players will we take? And my stance on it, this is just my opinion, that their two wingers, Saka, Martinelli, and maybe, you have to argue with Saliba in defence, but that's the only players I will take out of Arsenal's side right now, because we have to argue that, because everybody else.
You wouldn't take Declan Rice.
No. I wouldn't know Declan Rice. I wouldn't know Declan Rice is really equivalent. I wouldn't take Declan Rice over Bissouma. I wouldn't. Because
I'd take Rice and Partey into our midfield. I'm not sorry.
I'll tell you why, Savva, because I've seen, and you have as well, because you're from back in the day. You've seen a Declan Rice type player time and time and time again. The Ray Wilkins and all this, and people big them up. What do they do? Because if we had what's his name back? Who we sold to Leicester? Yeah, I mean, we've never had that type of player in our team that just plays it. Because I know he scored the other day, but all he really does is play it sideways and backwards. And we've got a Declan Rice in who could do that in Højbjerg. No, those are that type of player. They're
sorry.
boring players.
It might be boring.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't gas. Him up.
Are you saying you wouldn't? By the way, I do need to wrap up in a few minutes. But are you saying that you wouldn't take Declan Rice over Pierre Højbjerg?
I think you're getting the same thing.
Oh, don't. Sorry, I can't. That's crazy.
You're getting the same thing. No, what has he done to be better than Pierre Højbjerg?
No,
he played for West Ham. He played for West Ham. And what did he do?
Listen, Mark. The thing is, a player like that, it's leadership qualities. It's always on the ball. He's always available. He'll set the tempo. Sorry, Højbjerg, Declan Rice. There is no Papa Sarr, Declan Rice.
I'm sorry, Sam. I can't guess up Declan Rice. It's not my type of midfielder. It's just because I having supported Spurs for so long, I haven't seen that type of midfielder in our team. If Arsenal want to have that type of midfielder, I mean, like Arsenal, look at the midfielders they've had. I mean, Vieira, he wasn't like Declan Rice.
That's not Declan Rice.
They've never had that type. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get a sideways player.
Look, each to their own. Look, what I will say is I do have to jump onto another show that I promised I would jump onto at 15:15. But listen, thank you very much for everyone joining.
Nice one, Trav.
Thank you very much.
Anna has said great outcome, but VAR just balancing the books from that Liverpool game. BS. Anna, listen, someone's always going to be unhappy with VAR, and that's just the way it is. But listen,
that was blatant handball, by the way, wasn't it?
Oh, don't get me started. We need to finish. We need to finish. Listen, everybody, please smash the like button on your way out. We've got 207 likes. We should be getting to 250. Smash that button, and please do keep subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Spurs win again, 5 points clear, at least for 24 hours. And thank you to absolutely everyone. And I'm redirecting you over to Sean and Henry right now. I'll see you all later.
Come on, you Spurs.
Bye-bye.
Come on, you Spurs.